this video and I'm starting recording. All right, Colette, great, you found the chat. So we can hover at the bottom of the screen and it shows chat. All right, perfect. Hey, so guys, like Colette says, hover at the bottom of the screen with your mouse. So right now you should see a Zon.Tools platform. Hover at the bottom of your screen and some icons should pop out and go and find the chat. And do ask everything you need to ask over there. And I'll be reading, I'll be trying to answer you. And hopefully, okay, Katie, hey Katie. Stay on for long before school pick up. Okay, my question is when I find an irrelevant keyword, when I pull a search term report, do I negate it in Search Central or I can do it within Zon.Tools? So that's a very good question. You can negate it within Zon.Tools inside a PGN, but it's a very, very, very deep negation. What does it mean deep? It means that if you go over here and you do add new and you choose to, hold on, shifting this, you can add that keyword as negative to the full PGN ecosystem, but we will add it as negative phrase. So you really need to be careful how you do it. So let's say that you're advertising a silicone spatula and the search term is fluffy unicorn or fluffy panda. That keyword can certainly be added as negative phrase within all the PGN ecosystem because fluffy panda has nothing to do and will never have nothing to do with a silicone spatula. But if you're selling blue silicone spatula and you're willing to negate the search term red silicone spatula, you might want to think twice about it. Did this answer your question? So if, again, if you're negating a word that is related, so for example, you recommend doing it, yes. If it was like a light negation, so a term that is kind of related to the product you're selling, and you just want purely to negate that specific exact match, yes, I advise you to do in Seller Central, and that can be done at campaign level. So you pick not the ad group within your PGN, you just the top 4 campaigns of the PGN, and you add the term as a negative exact to the campaign. No worries. All right, next one. So we got Adam, Caroline, Colette, Mihai. Anything you guys would like to ask me? Yeah, all right. Waiting here. Yeah, I'm silent because I don't really have much to say. I'm just trying to get as many people as possible on board with this call. And I'm posting stuff around Facebook. All right, Mihai, so what do you think about the exact keyword match with singulars and plural? Example, singular is converting. I personally treat them as 2 completely different keywords. So I don't look at being coming from the same seed keyword. I look at the singular is a totally different keyword from the plural. So in the specific case, you say, I will simply keep the one that is converting the best and pause the other. And the tool, Zon.Tools, has been built to do this. So also Zon.Tools treat them as 2 different entities. So if a plural has a higher ACOS than your threshold, the plural get paused and you will keep it singular. As well for keyword miner. So whenever you bid for, again, back to the example, silicone spatula as exact match, Amazon will match you for silicone spatulas. silicon dash spatula, silicon dash spatula. So even within the exact match, Amazon doesn't always serve it for the specific exact match, but for variations of it, adding an S, or adding a dash, adding a double space, and sometimes even adding typos. So the way Zon.Tools works, we read the customer's return report, and even for the exact match, we always see variation in the exact match, which we plug back into the system. And we optimize based on the variation, not just of the seed keyword. Mihai, did this answer your question? Yeah, no worries. Colette, exact is different result from capitals and plurals. Should we have capitals letters and small letters for exact term when adding in PGN? That's a very good question. To be honest with you, I never tested it, but it's definitely something you could try. Let me think about it. So I released yesterday, I released some video. Let me find them. Just give me a second. Yes. So yesterday I released videos on the. So if you go here, tip and tricks, you see typos and hyphens. These two are variations where you take out of your best performing keywords and you source typos, and you create a PGN specific for typos, and you just keep the exact campaign of the PGN, and you do the same of hyphens. Now, of this variation, we keep only the exact because we don't want term collisions. So you don't want the broad and the phrase and the auto to run on the back finding combination, because you will find the same combination you find on the original PGN campaign. I believe you could do the same. You could run a test in the same way for the capital letters. Again, I haven't done any testing, but I believe that Amazon see a full caps or just the first letter capital as a totally different entity, like I discussed previously for singular and plural. So it's definitely worth it trying all your well-performing terms or keywords with a capital letter or all full caps. And this can be done in another environment, in another PGN. And my advice would be, if you go that way, do archive the auto, phrase, and broad of the new PGN that creates specific for capitals in order to avoid term collision. And Mihai say for capitals variation, Amazon suggesting a lower bid usually. Yes. Again, Mihai, you're definitely right. I never tested it, but my reasoning is that very few sellers target those terms. So that's why they have a lower suggested bid. And this will also sustain my theory that Amazon reads them as different entities. Because Amazon algorithm, they have two layers. They have one layer that recognizes the words and letters, and another layer is simply assign a code to each keyword. So whenever you create a keyword, doesn't matter if it's identical of the one that is in another campaign, will have a different keyword ID. And the biggest algorithm engine within Amazon, they just see the number, they don't see the letters. So each instance of the keywords is a different number in Amazon eyes. So to go back to you, Colette, yes, it's worth the testing, and I will do it the same way that I explain where you see here on the typos or the hyphens. I will do exactly the same for the capitals. The plurals, awesome, thank you. I will be watching videos today. They look great. Yeah, thank you. I still need to work a lot of my talking and video skills. It's really not my, I feel like a fish in the water every time I make a video. Fish out of the water, I should say. All right, who else? Ready to take the next question? Thank you, yeah. Yeah, I go slowly because like I get like, oh God, what to say next? So it takes me like 10 seconds to think every word, and 50% of the time I get it wrong anyway. Hey Dragos, I see you joined. You want to ask anything? And Adam, you joined from the beginning. Also you want to ask anything? Guys, do you want to ask? I published the threshold builder some time ago, and I really didn't have time to talk about it until yesterday. Is there anything you want to ask for the threshold builder that you didn't understand, or the mechanics, or anything? I believe it's pretty straightforward, but you know, yeah, ask away for something you want to know about this. As well as we published some new features, but again, I didn't have time because I was traveling. I didn't have time to document, but right now, if you go on your PGNs, we do show you the status of the campaigns within the PGNs with like icons. So green E means that the exact campaign is active. When they are red, they are archived. When they are black, they are paused. Let me check. Let me check my email. I can talk about the latest changes while I wait for you guys to come up with something to ask. Account. And I don't find Tariq email. Choose campaign creation, then here you are changed. Dragos, hi Stefan, I just joined your group. Still learning about your items. All right, thanks Dragos for joining. If you, I always try to offer a one-on-one time, but again, we get so many people joining the group and the tool, but I just don't have enough time in the day. So these live events, the purpose of them is for you guys to ask anything that I cannot transmit through a video. So even though you might not have watched the videos, I hope you did, although just ask something if there's something not clear or that you want to know. Hey, Madeline. No time-lapse when viewing. Can I just clarify? When using a date range filter, is correct that they do not contain the recommended timeline? Yes, Colette, you're correct. So let me find what I refer to. We've been dealing with this from Amazon since we started, and there is a huge lag in the data and how Amazon decide to deliver us the data. Let me see if I find the email so that clarify for all of you guys, because that's a problem that any account have. Let me find account. Yeah, just give me a sec. I'm going through my email. API improvement news. Okay, no, about the delay report. All right, I found it. Let me see if I can pull it over here for you guys. Okay, can you see it? So just say yes if you guys can see the screen. Yeah, all right, fantastic. So this is like our API chats. So we talk directly with the technician of Amazon for the API, and everything you see that we build is been a back and forth between us and them in order to, fit within their POS and do things as they should do. And we've been asking about this reported delay forever and ever and ever. As you see at the top over here, this is what they answer us. All right, so you can tell your customers, yeah, I wish they told our customers that our SLA on performance metric is 24 hours. So their delay is generally 24 hours on performance metrics. This doesn't mean that you always have 24 hours. Sometimes the spend arrive instantly, sometimes the sales arrive instantly, sometimes take 24 hours. But then look at the second line. It means we may or may not see the most up-to-date data clicks, cost or inflation until after 24 hours. Again, in normal Amazon ways, they just tells you nothing. They tell you that it should be 24 hours, but you actually may or may not see the data until after 24 hours. Sometimes comes before, sometimes comes after. And the last line is even more confusing. Further, our SLA on sales data is 72 hours. So basically they say that everything should come within 24 hours, but sometimes you might see before, you might see after, but generally should be within 72 hours. And that's really, that's the answer I have for you. So whenever you look at the data on Zon.Tools, keep in mind that there is a up to 72 hours period for which we might not record the same data that you record on Seller Central, simply because, as you read here, Amazon is not providing that to us. And then, okay, so I hope this covers a little bit the first question of Colette. And yes, Colette, is this covered? I mean, that's not a good answer. I understand it's not a good answer, but that's what Amazon is telling us. Using previous months is fine. Yes, when you use year to date, you have always the last 72 hours period. So if you want to look at clean, the cleanest data you can possibly look at is outside of the conversion window. So if today is the 2nd of May, in order to look at clean data, you will want to look only data before the 25th of April, which is outside the conversion window, and that's final data. That data is set in stone. Make sense? So anything that is today and within 7 days from now in the past is dirty. Yes, the conversion window is 7 days. So if you want to look at the data, the cleanest possible, the data that is set in stone, that will never change, skip 7 days. All right? Skip the last 7 days always. They are saying that, but we don't see it from the report. So the API is still 7 and 30 days, Mihai. So although they do say that on Seller Central, and I read it too, there's nothing in the API documentation indicating that, and there's nothing in the API data that we receive indicating that they actually use 14 days. And we did actually ask them, and we got a conversation like the one you see right now, which they say that the API offers only 7 and 30. So I don't know if they're gonna, I don't know why they say that on Seller Central. But the API is 7 and 30, and the data you see on Amazon Central is 7 days. So let me see, I got Adam, but I got only Caroline. So Caroline is asking, how long should I leave my PGN running before I start tweaking bids? Okay, so the PGN, that's not too clear of a question, but the PGN tweak bids, we tweak bids for you. So the time, in my opinion, you shouldn't look at time in order to do tweaks. In my opinion, you should look at clicks, because time is irrelevant, because you have some keyword will get like 100 clicks in a minute, and some keyword will get 100 clicks in a month. So time is totally, in my opinion, not relevant to what we are doing here, aside when we talk about conversion windows. So the software tweaks your bid after a specific amount of clicks, which you tell us. So I hope that this answers you. As for understanding if your bidding strategy in general is too conservative or too aggressive, I'd say what you should do, you should allow 14 days, and after the 14th day, you will have the first 7-day period that is closed, and the data will is set in stone, and you might wait 14 days and then look at just the first 7 days period to understand if your overall bidding strategy is too conservative or too aggressive. I hope this answered your question, but yeah, it was pretty generic, so I don't really know if that's exactly what you needed to know, but I hope it was. Yes, thank you. So I might probably got it right. So Adam, let me see what Adam writes. I'm 5 days into a new PGN. At first, I was worried that my original campaign would affect the PGN performance, so I paused them all straight away. Too trusting, maybe? Yes, definitely, but ballsy. You don't win if you don't risk. In your new video, you advise not to do that to avoid shock. Should I just leave it now, or Adam, you should look at your overall sales volume and your overall ranking. If you see that there was a effect to your overall sales volume and overall ranking, then my advice would be to switch back on to re-enable your previous campaigns and go through the system that I show here on the switching to PGN page. If you don't see any effect, so if you pause your old setup and you start the PGN and your sales volume is still good and your ranking is still good, I see no reason why you should re-enable back your stuff. Did this answer you? Yeah, all right, cool. Look, we spoke with, I speak with a lot of users. I used to speak with almost every user we onboard. Now I've throttling down simply because I don't have time to work my business otherwise. But we heard mixed feeling about this. So this is like what I'm showing you here is the most conservative way of doing it. We have users who saying that they never do this. They just stop, pause whatever they have and enable a new one, and that's fine. But we also have users we work with that they say the opposite, and we've seen happening. So this is simply the most conservative. It doesn't mean that every account will get affected if you pause the old one and enable the new one. But, just to, guys, at the bottom line, you're making sales. If there's something wrong, you're going to lose money. So my advice is just one step at a time in a conservative way. If you have something that has been working, like your previous setup, there is no reason why you should stop that altogether and start a new one. All right, cool. That's what should happen. I don't know how good you are at PPC, but generally speaking, people are not that good at PPC because most of people are more artists. Most of us, no, I like numbers, but most of us doing Amazon, they like the concept of marketing, they like the concept of creating a product, they grow their baby and they sell the product, and numbers is not really their strong topic. So if you're that kind of person, applying a PGN will definitely improve your PPC performance day to night. Or night to day, or from day to night. All right. We have a new person, which is Takyu. Takyu, hello, welcome. Would you like to ask something, Takio? And I hope I pronunciate your name properly. Or guys, anybody else wants to ask something more? We are still here and we still have time. Yeah, go on, Mihai. Hey, Cosmo, how you doing, man? Long time no talk. What, like about 2 years ago in China, maybe 3? All right, divergence percentage in the threshold beta. Yes, Mihai. Okay, that's a very good question. Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, man, I lost track. So much water under the bridge. But glad to see you in here, and I hope you started watching the tutorial, started using the tool, and hope you dig it. All right, so divergence. There is no. I wish I could say there is a scientific reason why I put the 25% there. There is no scientific reason. The just 25% fits pretty much what I would do. All right, so I didn't put a number and then got result. I decided what number I would put there, and then no, it's not even a standard deviation. I mean, really, there is no scientific reason behind the 25. I ran like 3-4 example. So I put 3-4 different example within the threshold builder, and based on the outcome I was expecting, I decided that 25% was a good number. That's about it. There's really no scientific reason behind it. All right, so just to go through it, let me open this. I will show you which data it affects. So this is the cell. The cell is the beast. All right. So this cell is a C8. All right. So the data that 25% affect is the bid increment, is the maximum bid, and is the minimum bid. All right. Those are the only 3 that gets affected by the 25%. So if you're not happy with this, edit the way you want, or simply go in and edit the formula of these 3 specific thresholds that I mentioned, which are minimum bid, maximum bid, and bid increment. All right. Again, the 25 was a number that seems like working well for a free example that I ran myself before publishing the form. Guys, I got only 10 minutes more from Zoom. If you guys have something more to ask. Yeah. So yeah, again, as much as I would like to tell you there is some scientific reason why you use 25, there is not. And everything you see here, there is no scientific reason. There is no crazy algorithm, a crazy smart brainiac thing. It's just rule of thumbs, and you shouldn't take it as it's not a Bible. It's just to guide you guys and to help you speed up the process based on what I would do, which doesn't mean that you should do what I do. Yes, so Caroline, in order, I cover this one in, where are we? Yes, I cover this one in how to use the threshold builder, but I'll tell you right now. So there are 2 ways you can use it when you're on the threshold builder. What's next? Okay. The next, what's next? Next is to hire a customer service assistant. No, joking. We are still working to refine the existing algorithm. Once the existing algorithms are refined, we will put the on-screen tutorials. So you will have like a on-screen guiding that will guide you step by step on what to do, how to do it, so that I can eventually be removed from the task of explaining you guys what to do. And after that, we will put some graphs. So we will plot data, because that's a request that we're getting since we started. And after that, after we start plotting data, we will look into the possibility of doing the same on AMS. But we can't promise anything right now because we still have time to look at the AMS API. But we will look into what we can do on AMS. Going back to Caroline, you go here, there's a file, so you either download as Microsoft Excel if you want to have an Excel, or if you have Google Drive, you can use import, all right, and you can import it in your Google Drive, all right. Caroline, did this answer you? And yes, it's locked by purpose. I don't want people to come here and mess around with it, but I left available the import feature, so you should be able to import it, and download, so you should be able to download it in Excel, and then in both ways work with it as if it was yours. All right, guys, so I think we are about to run out of time. Do you want to ask anything else? Okay, Kathy, what change to our campaign should we make in Seller Central as opposed to Zon.Tools? That's a good question. So changing the name of the campaigns was one recent thing. Yes, so do not mess with PGN names. All right, do not change PGN names in Seller Central. There's a lot of things, almost everything can be done on Zon.Tools. So everything that can be done on Zon.Tools, you should be doing it on Zon.Tools, including changing names, pausing, archiving campaigns. Everything else that cannot be done on Zon.Tools, for instance, like we discussed earlier, adding negative exact to specific campaigns, you can do that on Seller Central. But everything that can be done on Zon.Tools should be done on Zon.Tools. And eventually, over time, you should not need to use any more Seller Central. So our goal is to get to a point in which you don't need to go on Seller Central anymore to do anything. And we will get there. Did this answer you, Kathy? But yeah, like Katie said, definitely changing PGN breaks our system. So if you want to change PGN names, it needs to be done from here. You go to the PGN screen, you pick a PGN, and you go edit, and you change this to new name. All right, and you save it. And what we do, since a PGN is an ecosystem, there are 4 campaigns and several ad groups within the campaign. If you just change one, you break everything. Doing like I just showed you, aside from the fact that this is experimental account and I get an error, will change everything, all the ecosystem name for you with 1 click. I'm trying to change my bid on a campaign, and over the maximum bid within the campaign, how can I lower all the starting? Yes, okay, no, it's not a silly question. And we will change how we do that in the future, but as of now, you will have to go at the ad group level. Okay, so you will have to, again, let's say we are working on a PGN, you want to change the default bid, you will go to the ad group level of that PGN, you will open the rules at the ad group level, and on the edit screen of the ad group, you see the default bid. All right, We are about to change this. We will make it available at the campaign level because it simply makes more sense to make it available at campaign level, because a campaign includes several ad groups. So let me see, maybe Tariq already did it. Let me see. If you go campaign level and I open the rule and I open edit, no, Tariq didn't do it yet, but we are moving toward a way in which whenever you pull up the edit screen of the campaign level, you will change the default bid at campaign level, and we will change bet for everything below that campaign. Right now, we are not there yet, so you need to go ad group by ad group, okay? Guys, I got 2 minutes more with Zoom. Just say, if you want me to open another Zoom conversation, let me know, and I will post it on Facebook. If you guys are okay with what we did so far, we can talk next week. We are down to the last minute. All right, no worries, Colette, no worries, Katie, my pleasure. Adam, good. Mihai, good. Awesome. All right, guys, so seems like I made you happy somehow. So thank you very much for coming, and I'll have another one of these in about 12 hours this evening. And if you want to join that one, good. I'd love to welcome you. If not, we're going to talk next week pretty much at the same time. All right? Okay, guys. Thank you all for coming. I think I'm going to... Yes, they're shutting me down. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Bye-bye.